This MMA content is proudly brought to you by the AllStar app, a fully customizable ad-free sports experience. Download it now.
Before we talk about, your opponent, let's talk about, the whole Masvidal and Covington situation where he was attacked on the street. What did you think of that situation and how all that played out?
I don't know, man. I feel like like it depends on the individual, and Masvidal is a guy that he comes from the streets, man. Like it's not just fighting, and like what you say, like he don't let it go until he gets his. You already know that with him, so it's like I don't know. We were praising it with Leon Edwards, when he was talking crap, and then this one we're kind of like I don't know. So it's him.
Yeah,
What do you
it is him who he is. He's always been saying it. You know what I mean? It's not like he's
Like he says it, yeah. Like it's not like I don't think it's like something out of the ordinary with
yeah,
him. Like if he sees you, he gonna hit you, regardless if he's gonna tell you or not. You know what I mean?
yeah. The beef is real with
He
him.
lost that fight. He
Yeah,
lost that fight. So regardless, he's gonna try to get you.
yeah. The streets ain't safe. I just tell you that right now.
Or or he's one of those guys that that they'll keep going with you until they get you.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like if it's rolling or sparring or something like that, they'll just keep going until they get you.
and
And then they
that's
done. And then they done. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's what happened, right? That's what happened, and now the law enforcement has to get involved, and well, I hope nothing too bad happens, out of that.
You know already with Kobe that he's gonna tell. You know what I mean? Like, he's gonna tell on you.
Yeah, that's the difference, right? That's the complete difference, because when you talk about Leon Edwards, he didn't do anything. That was on caught on camera, like clear as day.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy. But now back to you, man. April 30th, you make your debut, right, against Tatsuro. He's this young cat, young Japanese prospect. What are your thoughts on him and his skill set?
I feel like I feel like it's good. Like a lot of these younger kids, they're automatically coming into the MMA kind of game. You know what I mean? It's not like how before where you're training one aspect of the game and then you're trying to like put it all together. You know what I mean? So like I feel like it's good, but I feel like a lot of his competition wasn't like it's not the same as America in a way I could say. Like but like me, I never really sleep on nobody. I always prepare like when my training I train like if it's the number 10 guy in the world or number 1 regardless. Like I don't feel like my training ever changes. You know what I mean? Or like my work ethic. If if you ask anybody, like they would tell you my work ethic is like out of this world. They don't know how to do it.
When you look at the newer generation of fighters, like you said, they don't. A lot of them don't come from like one base, right? They come from like training everything, and and there's a large influx of guys coming in or fighters coming in doing that. But then at the same time, do you feel like certain fighters or certain individuals that fight are not fighters? They're just guys that actually just trained and kind of got pushed into it, and you get a lot of those kind of guys in the sport. Have you seen that?
Yeah, a little bit. I just feel like people are always trying to find or like what they kind of could do next. Like me, I felt like I was kind of brought into it too. Like that kid's young too, but I was doing it too. I was doing the same thing at a young age too. Like I was I started with wrestling a little bit and in middle school, a little bit in high school, and then like 17, 18, I was automatically in the gym training with like Golden Glove boxers and stuff. Like, yeah, like great kickboxers. Like, I had like no experience, just kind of like a like a kid that kind of know how to like has some kind of hands, but like I love to take it down, people down and stuff. But like I was automatically brought into like the like with guys that knew how to fight quick. at a young age, so it's not like it's out of the ordinary too. Like I'm kind of on the same path, but I did like everything once. Like I did wrestling, then boxing, then kickboxing, and then I seen jujitsu and rest. Like I seen it all like that, and then I put it all together at like the age of like, because I started fighting I really started fighting like 19, 20, turned pro like 20, 22, 23. And then I had injuries when I was younger too, so that kind of delayed me too. So I feel like we're on the same path.
You know, the thing that I was kind of focusing on was that, you know, you knew that you wanted to fight. Like you're a fighter, like inside and out. There's some guys that are not like that. They trained here a little bit, trained a little bit over there, and it kind of like, oh, you're pretty good, and people pushed them into it. Really, they didn't want to be in fighting. You know, you get guys like that too. I think in the like the regional scene, I think it could derail some people. You know what I mean? Because they get pushed so quickly in the sport.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing that I actually took my time, bro. Like I actually took my time. Like I was training hard at like 16, 17. Hard. And then after like I really fought like 19. Like, you know what I mean? Like I did like a few years of like kickboxing and doing jiu-jitsu before I actually jumped in. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't forced into it or nothing. Like I actually had to beg my coach, "Can you find me a fight? Can you like he actually had to look around, like, man, because I remember in 2012, like 2011, there was really no fights, man, no fights around, and I had to like beg this guy, like, yo, like my coach, where can we fight? I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to test my skills. Like I remember telling him just like that, and he found me one. So it's like really like I put myself into it. Like nobody really put me into it. Like I had my parents taking me like wrestling and stuff, but like I really was the one who was asking for it. Like you said, like some people kind of get pushed into it. Like I was the one asking for it, looking for it. You know what I mean? Looking for it at the time. Now you could like fight anywhere, right? Like, in a way, you don't even have to have like experience. And it was hard. Like people would have to jump. Like my friend Matt Bissett, he don't even have an amateur career. Like he had to jump into pro automatically. He has only pro fights. You know, so it's like we look for fights. We had to fight, do what we could at the time.
And now it's completely different.
Everywhere, you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Now going back to your opponent, right? In your debut, you know, he looks like a guy that will come in, you know, strike with you, most likely try to take it to the ground and finish you there. That's what he's been doing. That's kind of like his MO, you know what I mean? If you dissect him, do you see
Yeah.
anything special about like what he does about his ground game?
If anything, I would feel like um he will be fearless to like try anything on the ground. Because he's young, and I remember being at that age, I had like no type of like fear or anything like that, or like I don't think I could get caught with anything, at the time. But like I don't really see anything like out of the ordinary that I felt like I never dealt with. But I felt like I would have fights with like crazy jiu-jitsu champions, and like I felt like high level. But if you really look at a lot of the 125 division, a lot of the styles are like, high pace and going to the ground and submissions, like, you know what I mean? You see more knockouts and stuff now, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like a lot, majority of the flyweights finishes are, I feel like, are submissions, right? What would you say?
Yeah,
Or
I'd say the
decisions?
same thing. It's a lot of there's so much of a balance there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, there is. It's because you see more knockouts and stuff, but it's like majority before it was like submissions and decisions. So I feel like I just gotta be ready for everything. Like I always train everything. I try to be ready. Whatever he throws at me, I try to beat him everywhere. But yeah, I see. I don't really see nothing too crazy. I feel like I kind of seen, like I have training partners that go for crazy leg locks. I have a trainer that does like weird like setup chokes. You know what I mean? Like I roll with young wrestlers and young kids that like do go for like flying arm bars and triangles. Like I don't feel like I see anything out of like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? Like I gotta watch out for that. But you know me, I'm always trying to watch out for anything the kid throws at me.
For sure. And, it's been around 8 months between fights now. I know your last two fights were like in a 3 week span, so you probably need
Yeah.
to take a couple months to
hmm
recuperate and shit, right? And get your body ready. But was there any other reasons that you took a longer extended time to come back?
Um, yeah, I wanted to fight a little earlier. Like I feel like I'm always training and stuff, but I did want to take a little time, you know, cause fighting back to back. But yeah, I just had like little nagging injuries, but I'm like totally good now, like perfect. I feel like it's not bothering me at all right now, so I'm feeling good right now. You know.
And going back to the contender series fight, right? You guys went out there and just put on a show, and at the same time, you made history by being the only guy to get a contract off a loss. I'm pretty sure the haters came out with that whole thing, or did you have more of the support come out? What do you think?
I feel like a lot of people were supportive, actually. I feel like a lot of people agree with the decision in a way. Like, if you see, like, the whole interview after with Dana, like, he's kind of like talking about my fight first thing, like, what he thought. Like, and then all the reporters kind of agreed, I feel like. So, it was a good experience, I feel like.
How
You know?
how was your mindset though? Like it's like a mix of emotions, right? You lose for the first time in your pro career, but then at the same time you get the biggest contract of your pro career on the same day.
I
It's
know.
it's
It
like
was,
crazy, right?
dog, like, it was the weirdest thing where, like, I felt like I was mad, and then it's like I was like in shock. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm kind of celebrating a loss in a way because I still lost. You know what I mean? And everybody forgets about that. Like they just look at the and they see the L. You know, like that's really how it is when we're being realistic. But yeah, it's a big mix. I don't know how to like explain it in a way. It's like a really big mix. Like sometimes I get happy that I get the contract, and I'm like, damn, I still lost that fight. Damn, I made mistakes, shit like that. You know.
Losses, they can linger, right? But in your situation it might be a little bit different. You took a fight in like 2 weeks notice. It was a split decision. A lot of people thought you might have won the fight, and then you get a contract on top of that. So does this loss kind of like, is it like really far in the rearview mirror, or does it still stay with you a little bit?
Um, Regardless, it stays with you. But I'm trying to get it out the way because I feel like I still like out of that fight. I feel like I controlled at least like the 2 minutes. Oh no, like those 2 rounds, and out of this second round, I feel like I control at least 4 minutes of that round. Sorry, 4 minutes out of that round. And then even the third, I felt like it wasn't like I was getting dropped or anything like that. You know, I understand if I was getting dropped, almost got finished, things like that. I was, leaking. You know, like I understand that, but I felt like it was nothing like that. And then I even scored like one or two takedowns in the end of the third round. So it's like I just thought it was a little weird, but it's all learning thing. Lesson. I just try to like see what I kind of messed up. And then I try to tell myself like I didn't really fight for 4 years, and this is my first year of being like really really active. Like if I fight once or twice again, that's like at least 4 times out of the August span that I fought. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm pretty happy with it regardless. People didn't see me fight. Yeah, the people didn't see me fight for 4 years, and then you're gonna see me fight in like what 4 times? Like, cause I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have another one after this. Pretty quick.
Well, flyweight division is pretty active, man. They put fights
That's
together
what I
pretty
mean.
quickly, so I think you'll be back ASAP. Get this one. Um, any like change? And I know your training usually stays the same, but any little tweaks that you made this year with your training?
Um, I would say like I added more of a strength conditioning, like a real regimen into my game. I always did like a lot of cardio and stuff like that, but I really added a trainer again because I used to have one before, but I say the last like training camps, like I kind of was not doing it myself. Like I have a guy, but like a guy really watching me now, like really watching, really pushing me. You know, because I feel like you really need that, man. Like you really need somebody to be watching you and be like, Carlos, go faster, like, because you know you chill when nobody's watching you in a way. Like I regardless, I go hard, like but it's like I feel like I need that sometimes still, like today I had the guy and he was just I was doing like bike sprints and he was like it's the third round, go harder, go harder, go harder. You know, so it's like it's pushing me and I need that,
Yeah, and
you know.
I think everybody needs it, man. I don't care who you are in life. Just
Yeah,
in
you know,
general,
like
you know, you need
that
somebody.
shit. I need that shit. Like he was like really let everything out, you know, like empty the tank. Like that's the stuff I need. So I had a lot of that.
Yeah, and you know, a full camp is so important. You know, last time you didn't get a full camp. This time you get a full camp. So what are you expecting? How are you expecting to get your first win in the UFC?
I definitely could see myself catching him a little bit, you know, catching him with something if he gets a little bit desperate. Either if it's either a choke, like a choke, or just a strike, you know. I could definitely see myself like flustering him a little bit, you know. But there's some things that I'm adding, like I'm making sure in my game to do. I don't really want to talk about it too much, but it's like there's things that I definitely have in my mind, you know. Like I always see fights in a way like video games, like you get a second life, so it's like try to perform better, you know. It's kind of weird. It's kind of nerdy.
It's not, man, because you're the one who going in the cage and fighting somebody, so it ain't dirty at all, right
You
there,
know, no, you know,
man.
just trying to be flawless. You know, like
Of course.
Mortal Kombat stuff. Like they try to go in there the second time, not get hit,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
you know, you want that finish him like that, like ring into your mind, you know, and then you go in there and finish the fight, right? That's how you want it.
Yeah, yeah. And then too, like I feel like I don't have too much, like you know, your next fight is always your biggest fight, but I feel like I don't have too much pressure on this one. Like I feel like I could just do my thing. Like I don't have to chase the finish too much, because I feel like the last one in the first, I was trying to impress way too much. You know, I was trying to like search for it. And, you know, like how they say, like never search for it because they won't come. And it's the times that you're just like flowing, reacting. You know, so that's how I'm trying to like think about for this fight. It's just like I'm just trying to react for everything, like react and then do my game and stuff.
All right, man. Well, April 30th, man, UFC Fight Night is gonna be the debut, man. Carlos, appreciate the time.
And
Good
then too,
luck.
Rob Font's on it too.
Yeah,
Rob Font.
yeah, your boy
I know
Rob
you're
Faz
excited
on
for
it.
that.
Yeah, man,
I know you're excited for that one.
it's gonna be a nice night, man, for the team. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, yeah, and then too. I just went to like Vegas. I'll train out there a little bit too. I was out there at the PI a little bit, the elevation. You know, training with some people I know out there. It was good, man. I feel good. Like I've been feeling really good. It's crazy. Like I'm happy. Like you said, it's a full camp. This one, you know.